pick up what I'm putting down. Oh, baby, I'm your handyman.
And on WFAB Online, we're back at the Summit House in Willow Grove, the site of the Frankenbeans Day Festival from 1981 to 2017. And got a little special feature for you today. You all know Rufus Overhead, the Summit House handyman, and he's going to take us on a tour. Some of you haven't been here for 2 years since the last Frankenbeans Festival, and Rufus is going to let you know just what goes on around here, what things look like these days. So here it is, Rufus.
That means I'm supposed to talk?
You're on the air.
I'm going to talk then. Is this a hint?
No, this is a tour. You're going to show us all around the place.
All around?
Yeah, show
everything I'll show you.
Yeah, because you work here. You know,
I do.
You know this place better than anybody.
I'm
probably.
the handyman. All right. Well, we're starting right here. This is the end of what they call the driveway. Now, these doors, now, they need some paint. And Charles the gardener, he tells me, he said, Rufus, you're to paint those doors. And I will. I promised that I will. I told him I would paint them, and I'm going to paint them.
When did you make this promise?
About 6 or 8 years ago. But I'm working on it. You can't just jump in. You got a plan. Does he want it white or gray or both? Or maybe he like orange. It's really not up to Charles Gardner, you know. He works for the fellow what lives up there in the big house.
I don't see him.
Yeah, he might peek out the window, but he never come out.
I heard he was retired now. He's home
He's
all the time.
retired, and he looks like a retired car is what it looks like to me.
A retread?
He is old. He's really looking down in the mouth. I'll tell you that right now. But he come out once in a while, and he'll pat me on the head.
Well, that's nice.
And I live for those moments. You got to admit that.
So it's nice to get feedback.
But no, that's right. And he does those little evaluations, pat me on the head, says, you're all right, Rufus. And then I get to skip away happy. But I don't think he's going to do it today, because he's a little camera shy.
Okay.
He's not like old Rufus. I don't mind cameras. I can stand in front of a camera and talk for hours and hours. Let me tell you about that.
Well, you don't tell us that story.
Oh, all right. Well, you want to get a tour.
You want to get a
all
tour.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take you on what they call a round robin. And that'll take us all around and bring us right back here. And then I'll show you some of the inside parts in there that I'm real proud of.
And there's going to be a robin?
There probably will. We get lots of them. We get those little robins. We get the little bunny rabbits. Yeah, you ever see those?
We've seen them.
There was a fella that lived next door. He used to call them English hares. Now, I don't know why. They look like rabbits to me.
Well, I don't know.
I'm from Bun Level, and the one thing about Bun Level, we know our rabbits.
Okay.
We know our rabbits.
And how to cook them.
And we know hare too, but they're not quite the same thing.
Well, they're not always around.
No, that's right.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
That's right.
That's
a joke, and that's a good joke. I'm going to have to remember that when we get into my office. I'm going to write it down.
All right. Well, why don't you take us on the tour?
On the tour. Right, on the tour. We're going to start over this way. Just come with me. As you can see here, we got a couple of bushes. Now, I like it this way. You see where it's got little stalks coming up?
Yeah.
It gives you a sense of growth and springtime and new life.
Because some people would just cut them even.
They would, and Charles the gardener told me to cut them off. He wasn't real happy with my work this day when I left these little stalks up there. So I'm going to have to cut them off probably later today when we're done the round robin.
Here's some more woodwork that needs some work.
A little more paint there, but that's all right.
That used to have to be covered up by Frankenbeans signs.
Well, that's the key to it. You cover it up, and then you don't ever have to paint.
There you go.
But it's on the list, and I'm just waiting for that directive about what color. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Come on. All right. Now this is what they call the big field. This is where they used to do their badminton and their croquets and so forth. And they have frisbees, and they have the little ball, and it's a yeller, and they throw it out there, and they call him Jack. And then they have these bigger balls, and they roll them down the ground and try to hit the jack. I don't get it at all.
I don't know. Is it like a
some kinda-
jackpot?
I guess it could be. I don't know. It's just a game, I guess. But they laugh, and they have just a good old time of doing it.
And they don't invite you to play.
Well, they never invite me, never. But when they're done, they say, go pick up the little balls that we left on the ground.
Okay.
We do that. And when they play the badminton, they tell me, Rufus, go to the next door and gather up all the little birdies what flew over the hedge. And
Or pull them out of the
I
hedge.
do it. Or pull them out of the hedge. Sometimes we get so many in the hedge, it's just too much.
The
It's
game
just
stops.
Too much. The game stops and they wait for old Rufus because only he can help get it right and get it back on the game. All right, you still with me?
I'm with you.
right.
Let's move on.
We're going to come out here. This is very stately here. This here we got a little place where the birdies go, and they're in there. And up there is the flag of the United States. That's this country, in case you didn't know.
We know that.
All right, come on this way. Now this bush here, this used to be a big bush. And Charles the gardener said, cut it back a little and shape it. And I cut it down pretty good. I think I shaped it well, but Charles the gardener wasn't too happy with my work that day.
Seems to be a pattern here.
Could be. It's something about that Charles the gardener.
Now this used to be blocked here on Frankenstein's Day.
Oh, here there used to be a fence was there so little children wouldn't come running in and get bonked on the head with an iron horseshoe.
Okay.
I'll take you in there.
You've had a few of those, have you?
I got a couple bonks in my head, yeah. Now this is where they play that horseshoe game. Back and forth, they'd throw them and they'd laugh. And when it would roll under those bushes, guess who they called?
I can
Little
guess.
Rufus. He'd crawl under there and get that horseshoe. Now this here, this debris, Charles the gardener said I should get rid of. And I thought the best thing to do would be just set it on fire. Just set it on fire and it would burn up to ash. But that Charles, what lives in the big house, he's got this brother that works at the fireplace,
Yeah.
fire department.
Yeah.
And he said, Rufus, I don't recommend you set a match to it. I said, well, all right, I'll go get the match and you can set it. He said, no, it's against the law. There ain't no open burning and the police might come.
And they're right down the street.
And they're right down the street. But I'll tell you what, I figured out a way to do it. Now this brother of Charles that lives in the big house, he don't want me to do it. So what I could simply do is do it when he ain't looking.
Well, that's one way he's not going to see it. But
That's right. And if the police come, we'll just take a couple of sticks and go over to the curb and rub them down to a point and put a weenie on there. And the police would like it, and they'd be as happy as a pig in slop. Ooh!
Whoop.
Shouldn't say pig. They're good men and ladies.
they're beef hot dogs. Yeah.
People, I don't want to call them pigs. They just be happy.
All right.
Happy as policemen in slop. No, that don't sound right either.
No, it doesn't sound good
Don't
at all.
sound right.
Maybe
Why not? I'll just leave that a go.
why don't you let that go?
We'll let that go. But we'll try to get rid of this at some point. Maybe after I paint the garage. I can
Well,
get to it.
You could just say it's a compost pile.
I could do that. We used to do that years and years ago. Maybe some of your people might remember we had a big compost pile.
I remember that.
Oh, it was wonderful. Let's go. There it is, gone. These trees here started out as a hedge. These were going to be a hedge.
I remember that.
And I had about 8 or 10 of them all lined up here. And they all died over time except these two. These two have been trimmed back, but I'm afraid they're going to be cut down, possibly before this year is over.
Do you have your equipment ready?
I have it ready, and I got a saw and some pinking shears, you know. I'm going to take care of these trees.
You may end up with a little more debris in the lawn.
Well, there'll probably be a little more in that pile. I imagine that's true. And the neighbor said, you ain't going to cut that down when our cars are here, are you? I said, no, you take your cars and you get out of town.
Maybe they should move their house.
Yeah. All right. Let's come on. This is what they call the backyard. Now, I don't know what all this is. I think those two fools were here doing some kind of recording for Frank and Beans.
Yeah, that was it. I see a bean pot hat.
Yeah,
That's a good dead giveaway in lawn chair.
They didn't invite me to that taping. But we'll move on.
Why don't you show us what's in this door here?
What's in this door? This door don't open.
This
door never opened. It's false.
It's a false door?
It's a false door.
Did it ever open?
But it never opened.
Ever? Never ever?
Ever in the world.
Looks like the kind of door you'd open and Mr. Ed's head would come out.
He'd come out. I remember that show. Mr. Ed, the talking horse. All right, well, let's move on. All right. The hedge is dying. I don't know why. It's got some kind of disease. So if anyone wants to save our hedge, I think we had a hedge fund going some years
We
ago,
did, years ago.
and it might be worthy starting up again.
So you could lose your trees and your hedge.
That's right. Then what we have would be no shade to sit under, no shade to sit under over here either. Well, all right, let's
A
go.
lot more to mow. Now, there used to be a college here, I believe.
Right in here, they used to put up a table, and those two fools would sit up here and ask questions. Ask questions about things that were very important in life. Things about Coca-Cola, stuff like that. All right,
People would yell at them.
that would cause the people be yelling, hollering, and it was a disgrace. But it would happen on Frank and Beans Day at the night.
And you were just waiting to clean up.
And I had to just stand back there and clean up. All right. Let's move on. I got to work on these here bricks. I'm going to do that after I clear the debris after the garage is painted.
Well, maybe the tree will just knock this down.
Well, that's an idea. Now, there's those bunny rabbits. You see them?
Yeah, I see them.
See them go?
And what's this here?
They're friends of old Rufus. What this is to take a fan that's in there to blow out the basement moisture, and it blows out, and this is here so that the fan can run in the rain.
Very nice. Did you build that?
I did, because I'm the handyman.
Okay.
Now this area here they call the side yard. Now I ain't done nothing here yet because Charles Gardner said, Rufus, he said to me, he said, this is the side yard, ain't nobody ever go there. So you can fix it up. Make it whatever you like. And I'm thinking about bringing in some white pebbles and maybe a bench.
That's the original idea.
That's right. And it'd be so nice for me to come and sit and maybe get away from Charles Gardner for a while.
Yeah, they probably can't find you back here right away.
He said nobody ever comes here.
Including him?
He said I have a free hand. A free hand.
All right, well, we'll check back on that later.
Do that. All right, coming through.
This hedge has a little gateway here.
That's right. There's this plan that the fella what lives in the big house, he has this plan to build a trellis or something around there. That's why it's open like it is.
Okay. Future plans.
Now here, we've got a lot of roots. And it takes money to get rid of them.
So they're there.
So the roots are the evil of money or something like that. Money is the evil of roots.
There you go.
So we're going to take some money and get rid of these roots.
Well,
Now, I don't know
cheaper
what
way
that's
is like
going to do with this neighbor's tree.
cheaper way is like orange cones.
That's an idea. That would take less of that evil money.
There you go.
The evil money in the roots. All right, let's move on. There's those bunny rabbits again. They're friends of old Rufus. Now, they'll sit there and let us tape all day long. If we get too close, they're going to run off. You want to see?
Yeah, I'll watch
Right,
that.
I'll just move over this way, and they'll run off.
Oh, there they go.
They don't go far because they trust old Rufus.
And they know you can't run too far.
That's right.
Or you're not going to bother at least.
That's right. Now, these azalea plants, they was big. one time. Charles the gardener said, trim it down and shape it a little bit. So I cut them down. He wasn't too happy with my work that day.
What kind of shape would you call it?
We call it free form. I think that's an artistic free form.
Okay.
Free form.
Or bonsai.
It's that fella here, that Oriental fella. He said he could shape them into strange shapes.
Well, you did a good job yourself.
But I looks pretty good to me.
Yeah,
They'll come back and be big again. They grow.
They do grow.
They grow. All right. Let's move on. This is the Cotillion Terrace. There's talk about painting it too. A lot of talk about that. I
But
don't know if old Rufus is going to be asked to do it or not. There's that bunny rabbit still sitting there. He don't want to move. He says, good old Rufus ain't going to hurt me none. So I'll just hang around here and eat the clovers.
well, that's one less thing you have to worry about.
That's right. There. There were 2 trees here. They were called the tree sitters trees.
They're gone.
Well, what happened was, Charles the gardener told me one time, he said, kind of trim the lower branches. And I thought the easiest way to get to them was to cut it at the trunk, and then they would fall over, and I could trim those bottom branches as well as some of the top. I thought I was doing good, but Charles the gardener wasn't too happy with my work that day. So I had to put some more dirt in here, and maybe one day I'll plant a flower or something.
That would be nice.
All right.
So they really couldn't have a Frank and Beans Day here anymore, festival, because there's no
They
trees that are
didn't
trees.
mind sitting in the sun.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We could have little bonnets give to people. Now this needs a little work too. This is Rufus Overhead's hidden bay. Well, it needs a little work, and that window frame needs a little work too. But it's on the list. It comes right after I fix up that other yard and get the pile of debris going and paint the garage.
This was a high point of Frank and Beans Day for many years.
It has, but it's not as hidden as it used to be.
No, it's not.
But the bench is still there. Rufus built that bench.
That's you.
That's me. Well, that brings us around. I could mention people that are watching may have fond memories of the chow line.
Yes, that was right there.
Chow line, right there.
That's where you used to stand and wait for your Franks and Beans.
That's right.
In fact, they used to go all the way here.
Down here, and then down the street they'd go, all the way down to the library waiting in line.
Right. They used to have the yellow jackets.
That's right. There used to be a tree there too.
I remember that tree.
The first tree sitter's tree. I didn't have anything to do with that one.
Okay.
Somebody else cut that down.
Probably Charles.
All right. Well, that brings us back to the garage area. Come on in here, because this is historic. This is where they have the Frank and Beans Day bar every year. Many people come in here and they don't ever leave till it's 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Just stand around and laugh and have a good old time.
Eat cheese goomers.
Eat cheese goomers, that's right. They used to have eat on feet. Eat on feet in here. And Charles the gardener told me, he said, for heaven's sakes, take down the decorations from the 50th Frank and Beans bar, and I'll get around to it. That's what these are. They're still left over there. And in the meantime, we added some Wright Brothers and some bicentennial items just to fill out the wall there. Isn't it looking good?
It looks nice.
It's looking really good. And here's a game that you can play, something called darts. And we got, that's these. They look dangerous to me. But you come up to the, and you say you want to have a home run. So you come up to the board and you do this.
And you got one.
And there you go.
That's not much of a game.
I didn't think it was either, but people just laugh and have a good old time. Sometimes they stand back here when they had a few beers and they throw the darts.
Yeah. Or they really laughed.
Or they really laugh. Some of them start to holler when the dart goes into their eye or something.
Used to all be signs and bean cans and things here.
That's right. There's some artifacts up on the shelf there, though. This is a piece of the original tree sitter's tree.
Wow.
The big tree that was right outside here. And let's see what else I got here. This is a piece of the serving table for the first Frank and Beans days over on Allison Road.
Wow.
Just a piece of it. It is gone. And this is a piece of the roof of the garage here that was blown away by a lightning bolt.
Wow.
And that's what was left. There was a hole in the roof, and I found this on the ground.
Luckily, it didn't go through anybody.
I'm glad it didn't. This is a piece of the tree sitter's trees, what used to be over there. They're pretty good artifacts, you got to admit that.
That's in Frank and Beans history.
And here, you see the sign. This is Charles the Gardener's Tool Museum. And it's got lots of good tools in here. And Charles the Gardener says I can use them, but I have to wash my hands first.
And if
And he's got this little stuff called sanitizer. And I'm supposed to rub that all over my hands before I use any of his tools.
does he ever use them?
Now he's usually down at the Burger King, getting a greasy croissant, comes up, tells me what to do, yells at me for about 10 minutes, and then disappears.
Goes back for lunch.
I guess. Maybe that's right. That's right. This is the Tool Museum, and this has been a highlight of Frank and Beans festivals for many, many years.
It was.
And he's got them tools.
That's the same tools. Mostly.
Exact same
See a
tools.
few new tools.
There's
for
a
him.
couple in there that have been added, but mostly it's the same. Most of these tools was here when they call it Mueller Banner.
And this board here, from there over there used to be a wall.
There used to be a plastic wall through here. That's right. And we used to hang a flag on it and just have a wonderful time looking at the wall.
Yep. And right here was the snacks.
The snacks, that was the eat on feet. Or the meals on heels, sometimes they call it that.
Very
Well, let me
nice.
show you Charles the Gardener's new office.
Okay, that used to be right here. It was his office.
Used to be right
In
there,
a little corner.
but now look what he's got.
And in here used to be storage of Frank and Beans tables and chairs.
That's correct, and other things were in here too. There was bicentennial museums and museums of stuff. But what you're looking at right now is Charles the Gardener's office.
Wow.
Pretty nice. He got a telephone. Let me see if it worked. Oh yeah, I hear that tone. So he never know when he might get an important call from some state representative or something. And you're focusing in on Grandma Rolade
Yeah, and there's the Road Hog
and the
boys.
Road Hogs. I hear they're going to be up later.
Yep.
And here's a Frank and Beans artifact that says, "Don't get your wiener too close to the fire." So
Okay.
I don't get it.
That's it.
I
You don't want to burn your
I
wiener.
don't get it. That's right. You don't want a burnt wiener.
That's right.
That's
That's a
true.
really nice desk he has.
It's a very nice, and he's got all kinds of good things here. And he's got some Frank and Bean stuff up on the wall.
It's nice. There's still some things around.
A couple artifacts to keep us in the spirit of the thing. Very nice. Now, do you want to see my office?
Yes, we do want to see. I didn't know you had an office.
Charles the Gardener got a nice office, but I got one too. I'm going to leave my shovel on this workbench. Charles the Gardener says I can use this workbench because I'm a handy man, but I have to put on gloves.
Okay.
Okay.
And a tablecloth.
And a tablecloth if I'm going to use it. Now here's my office right over here. I got my own chair and my own desk.
Little rickety desk there. That's
It's
nice.
a beautiful desk.
What do you got on your desk?
I got, I got a pencil and a pen. The pen doesn't write, but it's good to have. And some paper where I can write down some notes to myself.
You got to write a note that you need a new pen.
That's a good idea. Let me try that. It doesn't work.
Okay, well.
Oh, we'll try something else later. I got a fly swatter because we have a problem with that here in this office.
I could
Little
understand
fly.
that.
And one of my favorite books I read sometimes.
The Real Mother Goose.
That's right. And it's a wonderful, wonderful book. And I recommend it to you. Would you like a whole book report?
Well, maybe later.
Okay. But this here is Rufus Overhead office.
That's nice.
Very nice.
If it snows, you have to adjust it a bit.
Well, that's right. This here contraption does something with the snow. All I know about snow is you take a shovel and
Okay.
you throw it over your shoulder.
They don't trust you with this?
Philippe used that.
Even gloves or...
Yeah, even with gloves, they said, you stay away from that.
Okay.
Apparently, that's the business end up there.
Yeah, it is. I
All
wouldn't put your hand in there.
Yeah, that's right. So, that about completes the tour.
Well, we thank you, Rufus Overhead, and happy Frankie Beans Day.
You know, there's one thing I never did. Maybe we could do it now.
What's that?
I don't believe I had the chance to do this before. Or could I?
You can do that.
Can I do this?
You could do that. Very nice.
This here's Rufus Overhead wishing you a happy Franken Beans Day.
And that's it for our tour. Now back to WFAB Online.
WFAB